It's never seamless, even if I think it's going to be. Lovely. Right, we are on. So I'm going to introduce you and then I will disappear as well. So good morning, everybody. I hope everyone is well on this not quite so sunny Thursday morning. I am super excited today because I am joined by the author and illustrator of Millie Cow Gives Milk, which we've got copies of, by the way, by Deborah, Chancellor and Julia Groves. There it is. I'm going to be quiet for a bit and disappear. But if you have any questions at the end of the session, while we're doing the session, you can type them into Messenger and I will keep notes and then I can ask those questions for you. So I hope you're ready for a story and a bit of craft. We are in for a treat this morning. Have fun. Over to you.
Shall I start? Yeah. Hello, my name's Deborah Chancellor, and I'm the writer of this book, Millie Cow Gives Milk. And I really enjoyed writing this book. It was lots of fun. And one of the reasons I wrote it was because I wanted everyone, including all these little people who hopefully are watching this, to know exactly where their milk comes from. Milk's a very important thing that we drink because it helps our bodies, helps us to grow, helps us to stay healthy. And so we need to know where our food comes from. And that's the idea behind this series and why I wrote the book. But I think the most important way to start this morning is to actually read you the book, because that's what books are for. So you've seen the title. I think Natasha just showed you the book cover, but it's a lovely picture of Millie Cow, and that's Millie. And she is a white cow with black splodges, and that type of cow is called a Holstein Friesian cow. And so Millie Cow is the central character in this book. So I'm going to start reading you Millie Cow Gives Milk. So there we have the cover page. Millie Cow Gives Milk. Millie is a dairy cow. She gives me scrumptious milk. Now have a look at that picture. Can you see Millie there? She's in the middle of that field under the writing. And there's some other cows in the field. And there's a little boy there who's looking at Millie. And Millie is busy munching grass. Millie lives in a happy herd of cows. Farmer McBean takes good care of them all. Now look, can you see the cows there? They're munching. Millie's having a nibble on a bush. And there in the corner is Farmer McBean. In summer, Millie grazes on lush green grass. In winter, she eats mounds of tasty hay. She chews and chews and chews to help her food to go down. And there she is. Can you see her chewing? She's got a lovely mouthful of lush green grass. As the long day passes slowly by, Millie guzzles gallons of fresh water. Look at her there. It's very thirsty work, all that munching, so she has to drink too, and there's lots of lovely fresh water for her to drink. Food and drink make Millie poo, but her steaming cow pats help the plants to grow. Can anyone spot any cow pats in that field? And in the background, there are some crops in another field as well. Millie's soft udder begins to bulge as it fills up with creamy milk. Now have a look there. Can you spot where her udder is? There's her udder, and that's where all the milk is. When the morning sun rises and later at dusk, Farmer McBean takes Millie to the milking parlour. Now there they are, all the cows are in a line going towards the milking parlour. And you can tell it's really early in the morning. Look, where is it? It's a cockerel on the roof. Millie's milk is pumped into a cool tank. Every day, she gives about 60 pints. Wow, that's a lot of milk. I don't think you could drink that much in one day, could you? 60 pints. And there she is being milked by Farmer McBean. Milk from Millie's herd is made ready to drink. Then it's packed off to the shops. I take a carton and put it in my basket. Can you see there's the little boy? He's at the shop. You've probably been to the supermarket and seen all the milk, haven't you? And the milk doesn't start its journey there. It starts with Millie the cow. Making milk is hard work. I mustn't waste a single drop. And there's the little boy drinking his glass of milk. And there's some other things on the table there too, aren't there? There's some sandwiches. I think there might be cheese in that sandwich. And there's some butter. And did you know that milk can be made into other things that we eat? And butter and cheese are two things that are made from milk. So that's the end of the story. And actually, it's teaching us that we really do need to be careful to drink all the milk we have, because it's such a lot of work that goes in to bringing the milk to our kitchens and our supermarkets, that we need to be really careful to drink what we're given. And then we have if you get this book, you can play this game, but this is a game where you link what things mean to the pictures, and then some more information about cows at the back of the book. I'm not sure we're going to have time to read all of that today, the information at the back, but that's something again that you can see in more detail when you actually get your own copies. Hopefully you will. So that's the book. And yeah, I really enjoyed writing it, and it's in a series that's called Follow My Food, and there will be some other books coming into the shops as well. One of them will be about how honey comes to us, and honey is made by bees, and another book will be called Shelly Hen Lays Eggs, and that's telling us where our eggs come from. So this is one of a series, this book, and hopefully you might be able to get the set one day. So that's the story, and I don't know if there are any questions, or anyone wants to ask anything, or maybe we'll go over to the craft activity now. I'm not sure. Shall we do that as well? Natasha, what would you like to do now?
Well, you've answered, there's only one question that's come through so far, and you've actually answered it, because Flora asked, will there be any more books in the series? And you've answered it perfectly.
Yes, I have.
Yes, Flora, there will. So there'll be one about honey and one about eggs. I love the fact that the one about eggs is called Shelley, because that's my sister's name, so that's just really made me laugh to myself.
Well, all the names are obviously subtly chosen for their so Millie from Milk, and Polly, I don't know if you might be able to guess that, any little ones out there, but Polly is coming from pollen, which is one of the things that bees collect to get their honey or make their honey. And Shelley, I think you can probably guess why she's called Shelley. Anyway, I'll leave that one with you.
What we'll do, if we go over to Julia and do the crafty activity, if that's all right, and then any other questions, I mean, we can do it at the end. Should we do it that way? Yep. So I hope everyone's got their crafty bits and pieces ready. I shall hide myself again, because you don't need to see me making a terrible job of my craft.
Thank you. Thank you, Deborah, for reading that story so beautifully. That was lovely. So today we are going to be making a Millie cow of our own. Can you see her there, sorry. I've just put her against a piece of paper so you can see. So the artwork that I made in the book was all made out of cut paper collage. So I thought we would have a go at making our own cut paper collage Millie cow. So hopefully you've got some craft materials with you. And just to recap, we do need to have some white paper, if you've got some, and some black paper. And if you don't have black and white paper, that's fine. You can use any colour paper, make a lovely colourful cow. We're also going to need a pair of scissors, and we're also going to need some glue, preferably this type of glue. If you've got one handy, that would be brilliant. So we can make the whole thing just out of paper, glue and scissors. But if you've got some googly eyes handy, you can use those as well. If you would also like to, if you haven't got any black paper, but you have got white paper, you could maybe use a pen, and then you could draw the black bits on. So if you've got a felt tip or a wax crayon, any kind of black, maybe like a black pencil crayon, anything like that, then you could draw the black bits on. Oh, I've also got a little bit of this colour paper, which is a kind of yellowy colour, but you could use pink, and this is for Millie's nose. So that's just a slightly different colour, so it shows up a bit better. Okay, so to start off with, we're going to cut out all the bits. So I've drawn them out here. Actually, we'll do the body first. So I've actually just cut out a little square like this. I've got my toilet roll. Sorry, I didn't say toilet roll. This is the most important tube. So if you've got a toilet roll tube handy, this is great as well. So if you haven't got these things handy, you can always just watch the demonstration and then you can have a go later, okay? So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I've cut this paper so that it fits quite nicely around the roll like this. I'm going to put some glue on it and then I'm just going to stick it on, and that's going to be the white body of Millie Cow. So I'm just going to get my glue and do that. Hopefully you'll be joining in too. So I think I'm going to put my glue on the paper and make sure it goes right to the edges, because then it'll stick down nicely. The other thing you can do if you want to make this later is to use black and white paint. So you could always start off by painting your toilet roll white, letting it dry, and then adding all the black details on afterwards. It would be nice to maybe cut out the ears and the tail though, so that should be good. But you can use any paper, you could use old magazines, you could use old newspapers, anything you've got lying around really. You don't need to go to the shop for this one. Okay, look, so I've stuck it on quite nicely there. If it's sticking out a bit at the top, you can just fold that over a bit. Okay, so we've got her body. So I think I'm going to put her ears on next. So I'm going to cut out one white ear. Millie Cow in the book has got one black ear and one white ear, and the white ear's got black spots on it. So I'm going to cut the white one out first, and then I'm going to add some black spots to it. So if it's easier for you to draw the shapes out, that's fine. Or you can just cut it out freehand, whatever you like doing. And don't worry about getting it really neat, because it's a funny cow and it can be quite a funny kind of character if you want to. So I've cut out my white ear. I'm going to put a bit of glue on this and stick it on near the top. Like that. Can you see it sticking out slightly there, isn't it? And then I've got a couple I'm going to cut out. I've actually drawn a little picture here to show you all the bits I'm going to cut out. So I'm now going to cut out, I'm going to do the black ear in a minute, and I'm going to cut out these little black ear spots to go on Millie's white ear. So have a go at cutting out some spots. We do need quite a lot of spots actually, because we need black spots for her eyes. And we also need some black sort of ovally shaped spots for her nostrils as well. So we're going to cut out 6 of these black spots of varying different sizes. So I've got one largest one and one slightly smaller one here. And when you look at the book, you'll see that my artwork, you can see the kind of scissor marks on it. So it all looks like, you know, it's been made by hand. And so it's not really about getting things very neat and perfect. It's about looking at something and thinking, oh, that's been cut up by a pair of scissors. It's got, you know, it looks handmade. It's got nice energy about it. So that's what we're going to try and do today with our Millie Cow. So it doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, so I've stuck one black dot on there. And I'll stick the other one. And it's great, this glue, because you can get it everywhere and then it just dries nice and clear. So I'm going to cut out the black ear now. Hopefully about the same size as the other ear, but it would be quite funny if they were different sizes, that's fine. So I'm cutting out my black ear. That's a bit wonky, I might just trim that a bit. There we go. And I'm going to stick that onto the other side. Let's just see. Yeah, they're about the right size. So I'm putting a bit of glue on the top. I'm not sticking it all the way down. I'm just putting the glue on the top so that the ear actually sticks out at the sides a bit then. So it looks a bit more cow-like, and you can even sort of fold it up a little bit like that. I'll just hold that behind it so you can see it a bit better, okay? So we've got our ears on. So I think we'll put her eyes on next. Get those in the right place, and then we can do her nose. So I've got 2 little black circles here for her eyes. So I'm just going to cut those out. Try and get them roughly the same size, but it really doesn't matter if they're not exact. I actually drew mine all out in white pencil to start off with, so I don't know, that's sometimes a bit easier as well. And if you wanted to, you could just draw her eyes on with a black pen. That's fine as well. I'm going to stick her eyes on a little bit lower than the ears, about there. There we go. And now I think I'm going to do her nose. So I've drawn out a slightly bigger oval shape for her nose. And that could be on a slightly different colour paper if you've got one handy. Like I said, it could be pink. Just so that it stands out a bit, or grey, whatever you've got really. So cut that one out and I'm going to stick her nose on. About here. Nice and gluey. There, she's starting to look a bit more cow-like, isn't she? Let's give her some nostrils. So nostrils again, 2 little round dots. They could be slightly more oval, I think, than the eyes. So I'll cut my nostrils out. Again, if you've got a pen handy, just draw them on. I won't tell anyone. Stick these in the middle of my yellowish paper. I've got one here, and one here. There. She's starting to look a bit more cow-like, isn't she? So what do we want next? Some black dots, I think. So she's a Frisian cow, black and white, and they have all different types of black spots on them. They're really interesting cows. So I'm going to cut out these 2 shapes now. So these can be quite big wonky shapes because they're quite sort of, they're nice patches in the colour of her fur. So don't worry about making these round because these don't really need to be round. They just need to be slightly misshapen so they look like patches like this. And we'll stick those on to make her look a bit more cow-like. If you wanted to, you can make your cow with a lot more black on it. You could even start, I'll show you another one that I've made actually. It's more like a black cow with white spots really. And some of them are almost pure black. There's one black cow in the book that's just got a big white patch over one eye. So I looked at all different types of Frisians and the different colourings they had on them when I was designing the cows. So I'm going to stick one about there, like that. And the other one on the other side, and you can stick more around the back or put one on the top of her head if you wanted to as well. There we go. That one looks a bit like a potato. Okay, and the last thing we need is make her ears stick out a bit more. Her tail. So I think that's the last thing we need. Yeah, so on my little picture here, I've drawn out the shape of her tail. That can be a bit fatter at the bottom there because we need to stick it on. And you could actually make lots of these if you've got lots of toilet rolls spare, or you could use kitchen towel as well. That's good. So I've cut out her tail, and I'm just going to put a bit of glue on the end so that it's going to stick out. Don't want to glue it down flat really, because we want to be able to see the tail from the front, like that. There she is. And I'll just show you, I made her a friend as well. So I made a little one that's more a black cow with lots of white spots. So you can have a go at making a whole herd of these Millie cows if you'd like to. Okay, hope you have fun making them. I'd love to see pictures as well. If we do get any made later on today, that would be fantastic to see some pictures of them. Thank you. Oh wow, Deborah, that's amazing. And Deborah's used googly eyes. Oh, fantastic.
I forgot to get googly eyes, but I may have to go to Poundland later and get some googly eyes.
They are really funny with googly eyes on, aren't they? Oh, that's great. Thank you, guys.
Very proud of myself. I feel like it's been a Blue Peter moment. Thank you, Julia.
Fabulous.
I'm starting to get a collection now of animals from scallywag events that I do, because I've got a fish somewhere that haven't changed at all. Yeah. I'm going to have a whole little zoo.
Brilliant.
Love it. Thank you so much. Flora has asked another question for both of you. This is a good one. What is your favourite way to use milk? Have you got like a favourite recipe?
Oh, that's a. I love rice pudding. So that's a really lovely homemade rice pudding is absolutely delicious, and as people either love it or hate it. Deborah gave me some good recipes. We're actually doing some recipes on the Scallywag Press website, and we've got 2 on there at the moment. We've got a recipe for making your own butter, and I think we're doing yogurt and ice cream. Deborah had a fantastic recipe for making your own ice cream in a bag with ice cubes. So yeah, definitely. You're muted, Deborah.
Unmute yourself, Deborah, and then we can hear you. Oh, no, you're still muted. There you go.
Sorry. Sorry about that. I was just saying about the ice cream recipe that you it's quite fun because you have to put ice cubes in a bag and shake it about really fast. So if you've got lots of energy and you're feeling really hot at the same time, it's quite a good combination, because by the time you finish shaking the bag you might have some nice ice cream. But have a look on the Scallywag website, because yeah, they're on there somewhere. I'm not, and various other activities as well. There's lots of nice recipes with milk, but one of my favorites is ice cream milkshake. Once you've made your ice cream, if you put it in a liquidizer or blender with some milk and some fruit, whatever that might be that you like strawberries, then mash it all up together, and it makes a lovely, really nice cool drink on a hot day. And hopefully we're going to get some hot days in the next little while, so then you can try that one out.
That sounds lovely. Can you tell us a little bit about kind of, you always want to know this, but how you work together? So do you work together on this, or Deborah, do you write it all and then Julia, you see the kind of the text and you do your bit? How does it work? I know it's different for everyone.
Yeah, no, every process is different, and this one, it's a really collaborative process. I mean, it does start with the text, but then it's at the very early stage, we then start discussing, you know, how we want to show this, and what kind of cow we want to show, and what kind of farm we want to show, all that kind of thing. So how it actually is illustrated is really important to go alongside the text, and that whole process of talking together and making sure we've got everyone, you know, on board with how we want it to look is really a kind of like a team effort. And well, I think I'm really lucky to have Julia to illustrate my words, because I think the idea with a picture book is to really try and get the pictures and the words to kind of match together, and very often it will be the same person that writes the words and the pictures, so that helps. But when it's 2 people, it's important to get that mixture right. And I think what I try to do with my words is write very simply, but to get quite a lot of information across, but in a very, very simple way. And I think Julia does the same with her art in a way. It's very simple. I mean, beautiful, flat, sort of plain picture cut, paper cut, but it actually is deceptively simple. A lot of work goes into it, just as it does with the writing, and the end result looks beautifully simple, but actually there's a lot of little details in there that you can point out, or that's what I love about what Julia does, because it's you know, a combination of simple and detailed. So hopefully that mixes well with the words that I've written, and with a non-fiction book as well, where you have to kind of get information out there, which is the point. So
yeah, so when we've sort of talked about the text, we sort of change the text a little bit as we go sometimes as well. Then I actually started off by making characters for the first book. I designed some characters, and then after that I do the storyboards, and then we negotiate the artwork and whether the artwork really fits. So for example, when we did the character for the little boy, I started off with these sort of sketches, but we decided that he looked a bit young, really. He only looks about 2 or 3 in these sketches, and we actually wanted him to be an older child. So he actually ends up being this, this little boy from the book who's maybe more about 5-ish, so that he could actually, engage a bit more with the actual process of, or not helping with the milk, but telling the story so a bit more relatable. So yeah, it kind of starts with the writing, then it becomes character development, and then really storyboarding and developing the artwork, and everything gets moved around a bit. It's real teamwork with Sarah, and also with our lovely art director Ness Wood as well. So it's I think we work really well as part of a team on these books, and it's been really, really good fun to do them as well.
Yeah, it's really important to sort of like to listen to what other people are saying, and sometimes you might have a particular idea of what you want, but there might be practical reasons why you can't do it that way. So it is a discussion really that goes on. And I always think it's a bit like ice skating, really. You watch a really good ice skater and it looks so easy, and you think, oh, there's nothing to it, and then you try and do it and it's actually really hard. And it's the same with a very a picture book for a very small child. It looks a lot easier than it actually is. Yeah. So it takes a lot longer as well. The whole process
takes months.
Yeah, it takes a long time. So yeah, labour of love.
I don't think it looks easy. It's really beautiful. I can't wait to have all of them on our shelves, like a lovely little series. And I love the fact, I think there's something about non-fiction, especially, I don't know why, when it's hardback for children, I really love that. It's got such a nice feel about the book, and it's beautiful, and all of the information at the back as well. It's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any other questions that have popped up? But I'm sure if anyone's feeling shy and they have questions later, maybe I can send them over to you.
Yeah, of course.
And we would love to see your cows, please, which is not a line that I ever thought I'd say, but that's what we'd like. We'd like to see cows. So if you've made a cow or cowser, then we would love to see them, and then we can share them on our social media, and then Deborah and Julia can get to see them as well. That would be fab.
That'd be brilliant.
That would be brilliant. Okay, thank you so much. What a lovely way to start the morning, and congratulations on your beautiful book.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, it's been lovely.
Welcome. Right, thank you for everyone who's joined us this morning. I know some people are going to watch later as well, so we will see you later, and see your cows later as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.